Target Transfers, the UK's leading supplier of heat presses, heat transfer vinyl, and custom heat transfers. And in today's set, asking you anything you want to know about heat presses. So we're going to cover every single heat press in the Hottronics range, and I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about heat printing. So if you have questions, please interrupt me, leave a comment. I want to get those questions asked. If there's anything that you're struggling with your current press and you'd like to know more about, then please leave a comment, ask a question, because we're going to help you find a solution to all of your problems. So everything you need to know about heat presses today. So I'm going to start you off here with a dual air fusion. So this is an air-powered heat press, and this is manufactured by Hottronics. It's the world's leading heat press. So I'm going to start you with the machine that could do everything. And for those that have never had anything to do with Target Transfers before or Hottronics, I'm just going to give you a quick little history lesson. So Hottronics has been around since the 80s. When Stiles started creating heat presses, they found that there was an issue with quality around heat presses, and they'd been manufacturing vinyl since the 1930s and had the world's leading vinyl. But the heat presses just weren't up to scratch. They weren't at the same level. They tried to get all the different heat press manufacturers to make some improvements, and they all declined that invitation. So they were like, fine, we're going to do it ourselves. And in the end, they decided, like, hey, they know everything they need to know about, because they were decorators. They know everything they need to improve around heat presses. So they went and built them themselves. And to this day, they're the world's leading heat press manufacturer, not just for quality, but for quantity as well. So there's not much that Stiles Hottronics do not know about heat presses. So please get those questions in, and I'm going to show you what the best of the best. I'm going to show you what a hat press looks like. I'm going to show you what a budget heat press looks like. So there's something for everyone today. Either if you're just starting out, there's something to aspire towards, or if you're already a top-tier garment decorator, this is something you have to have tomorrow. All of these are in stock. They're all available. So please, you can get these within the next couple of days. One of the reasons that people love this machine is because it's air powered. So when it comes to heat printing, one of the most common mistakes people make is either over or under pressuring. So this is what I mean by this, is how much force the top platen of the press puts to the t-shirt. And it's such a vital and important thing to do, and it can be the difference between getting the print right and wrong. But with you, if you have a cheaper press, or you have a press that doesn't read out the pressure, it's hard to know exactly what it is, especially if you're using perhaps an import press when they're a bit dodgy when it comes to the actual pressure. But because it's part of the actual unlocking of the transfer, so we always talk about time, temperature, and pressure, because it has a special adhesive on the back of these heat transfers that needs to be unlocked on under those three elements. So pressure is such an important one. The fantastic thing about an air-powered machine is it controls that all for you. Takes all the guesswork out of it, because you can pre-program it. You get menus on the machine, so when you turn it on, you can be like, I'm going to do Ultracolor Max cut heat transfers today, and then just pick the right one. It warms up in about 10 minutes to the correct temperature. Then all you have to do, I'll bring it over to me here. See, I didn't have to move the press, just use my foot on the pedal. 2 buttons. So it's really, really easy for the operator, and because it's regulating, no matter whether it's a t-shirt or a hoodie that's under here, it knows exactly how much pressure to put through. So you get pressure exactly the right pressure every single time with a dual air fusion. So it's really, really cool, because that means that you never make mistakes, really. It's very rare that you make mistakes. And all you have to do is literally bring it over. I'll show you one more time, and then I'll do a fusing for you. It's 2 buttons, really, really easy. So if you're fusing for 7 hours a day, like I know some of you are, that's so easy. There's no repetitive strain at all. So really, really easy. But I know you want me to show you just how easy it is to do with an actual t-shirt. So I'm going to get what we got here. I think this is a Bella canvas. So let's pop it on here. I'll show you one of the other great features here. So you should be able to see it now. I put this t-shirt on here. Can you see that laser guiding system here? So let me try and put a bit of shadow on it so you can see. So just down here, and down here, and down here, being controlled by the back here, I can set up a perfect laser guidance square What this means is every single time I'm doing an application, take the t-shirt just off the edge, then I can place it down here within the laser grid. So it means I'm going to get perfect placement every single time as well. So it means if you're doing large volume, like you would expect to do with a heat press like this, you can just fire through the work really, really quickly that way, because you're not having to measure it every single time. You can set it once at the beginning, then you place your transfer within the laser segment, and it's done. Really, really nice and easy.
We have a question, Andy.
Please.
Do you want to do it now?
Yeah.
Somebody has asked how you adjust the lasers on the heat press. Are they set, and if they can be moved?
Really, really easy. So all 4 of the lasers can be adjusted. So you've got a little bezel here that you just loosen a little bit, and you can move it around, move it further in if you need to, tighten it again, and that's it. That's all there is. It's done. Really, really nice and easy. Every single one of these, if you're buying a dual layer fusion or the separate laser alignment system, comes with a special laser layout grid. So when you put put this on here, and then you can line up the lasers with the correct spots that way, so you know you're going to get best practice for where the placement should go, whether it's an A4, a left chest, a sponsorship logo, whatever it needs to be. It's really, really simple to line it up that way. So let's do a quick press for you. So just going to call it back over again. I've set this to 145 degrees, and it's going to do a 5-second pre-press. So again, really, really nice and easy. And you could, because you've got dual workstations here, it means that while you're doing the first t-shirt, you're getting ready with the second t-shirt. So let's have a pre-press. So now I can put my Ultracolor Max direct to film heat transfer on there. Use my laser guidance system. Release paper back over. Bring the press to me. And in fact, it's really the easiest press to use for doing live video like this, because I don't even have to look what I'm doing properly. I just press those 2 buttons and it's done for me. I can keep talking to the camera nice and easily. That's how easy it is to use. You can do lots of things at the same time. So you're getting that next shirt prepared. And by getting that next shirt prepared at the same time, it means you can actually improve your capacity by 50%, because you're being so much more efficient. This is a hot build transfer. So just straight away, straight off. And I can glide this t-shirt off just like that. And I've got perfect application, so you can all see that. And the reason it's so easy to get that capacity is because of what we call threadability. So
sorry, Andy, before you move on to that, someone's asking about the foot pedal, if you have to use it, or is there a way of setting it to manual?
Yep, so for anyone that can't see, I'll bring it up for you here. So this foot pedal comes as standard with the press. So when I push down with my foot on this, you see the press moves across, goes back the other way. Really, really easy, but you don't have to use the foot pedal if you don't want to. You can, but why wouldn't you? Because it makes your life easier. But you can stop the press from shuttling automatically back and forth. So you always want to use the foot pedal because that's the easiest way to do it. But you can stop it. So if you're perhaps doing something that's slightly more complicated and you need more than, say, 12 seconds to arrange the next item, you can just, with a quick push of the button on here, you can press the button so the top platen only moves when you push the foot pedal. So it makes it a little bit easier for you. So let me just show you what threadability means. So you can imagine you're trying to get this t-shirt onto a normal press, kind of climbing up the platen, and it could take you 10, 15 seconds every single time to put a t-shirt on. The dual layer fusion comes as standard with quick slip protectors, which are great for sliding t-shirts on. We also have this wonderful area here, which we call threadability, but what that means is you've got that area underneath where you can glide your t-shirt on and off. So when I put this t-shirt on, I can just go just like that. A couple of seconds later, it's done. So you could save 10 to 15 seconds per t-shirt just by having this machine, because you're that much more efficient. You've got much better workspace. It's much more efficient. You can glide your t-shirts on, and that means if you could save 10, 15 seconds every single time, it can really add up. So for instance, if you're doing 100 t-shirts a day, you could save 10 days a year, working days. And if you're doing something like 500 t-shirts a day, you you could save 55 working days just by saving 10 to 15 seconds every single time you put a t-shirt on. So that's one of the reasons that this is the world leading heat presses, because it's thought of all those clever little things that you might need to do to make your business more efficient. Because we want to make sure that you get more, by buying a better heat press, want to enable you to get more and more capacity from your business. And with a Hotronix press as well, we kind of give that peace of mind as well with many different bits and pieces. So for instance, we actually put a lifetime warranty on this heating element in here. There's a lifetime warranty. So that means that we're that sure that it's going to consistently heat your garments properly. It's got a lifetime warranty on it. And you also get really great warranties on the frame where you get 5 years. So there's a Hotronix premier warranty on all the Fusion machines. And it's got all these different hacks for productivity. So for instance, I showed you the threadability, but if you're doing, say, just the left chest and you're doing lots of them, then you want to be even more productive than that. And one of the ways you could do this is by using interchangeable patterns. I'm going to show you how easy that is to do. So on the side of each pattern here, we've got what we call a quick release lever. So you just pull one lever forward and you can just pop your press off. So all of these have exactly the same layout here. So let me just go and grab another one. It's okay.
Just while Andy's grabbing that, we'll say hello to everybody that's joining us. We're going through the top heat presses for your printing business today. Drop any comments that you might have, questions you have in the comments.
So now you can put on a smaller lower pattern. You can see it's got the exactly same attachment. So no matter which Hotronix machine you start out with, you can always switch across them. Just like that, you've made a smaller surface area, which means if you're doing lots of the same image and it's really small, you can isolate areas, or if you're doing perhaps hoodies and you've got zips and pockets and you don't want to fuse them, it's just as efficient, just as fast, and then you just isolate those areas. You can use the lasers still, and because it's got the air pressure and it can control it, no matter, now it's got a smaller surface area, you don't have to adjust anything, and it still gives you the perfect pressure that you set on the machine. So it means that every single time, no matter what's under here, whether it's smaller pattern, larger pattern, t-shirt, hoodie, coat, bag, it's always going to regulate that pressure so it's perfectly fused every single time. And that's what makes the Dual Air Fusion the world's leading heat press. It means that your consistency is at 100% and your efficiency and your productivity is actually over 100% because you're getting so much more work done.
We have another question.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking about when the right time in their business would be to level up to this heat press. So from 1 platen to 2 on this one. I don't know if the payoff scheme would be the right way to view it, or if you have another method. Yeah,
so we do have some really great payoff structures on our website. So if you go onto targettransfers.com and click on the Dual Air Fusion, it will tell you exactly how many t-shirts you would need to sell to pay off this machine. 43 a month to sell this machine off. So it's really not very much to sell this machine off because of the profit margins you could potentially get. But as much as anything as well, so by saving 55, say you're doing, say, 45 t-shirts a week is nothing. Really, you're kind of looking at sort of like 200, 300 a day as a good sort of aligned sort of number to aim at. So once you get to that point, you're getting good volume through, you're like, oh, now as a business, you're starting to think, okay, I need to do more, I want more. How can I increase capacity? I can increase capacity with a more efficient machine. I can also increase capacity by using a machine that's not just from having dual workstations, it's 50% more efficient. I can use this threadability to gain another 55 working days a year potentially as well. So that means that your capacity is just, you could potentially double your capacity just by getting one machine. And these are only just over £7,000. So they're really, in the grand scheme of things, machines for decorating garments, to get the world's leading heat press, this is still well under nearly everything else you need to invest in for your business. So it's really, really not a big investment to get the world's best machine.
Someone is asking if we're going to be taking this press to the Printwear and Promotion show next weekend.
It will be, yeah. So if anyone that's attending Printwear and Promotion or they're thinking about getting the Dual Air Fusion, you can either try and book to come in here or come and meet us at the show at the NEC from the 26th to 28th of February. And you will be able to put this through its paces for yourself. So if you're watching along, you're thinking, yeah, that sounds really good, but I bet it's not like that for real, then come and test it yourself. Come and find me personally. I'll be there if you want to see all these different features, if you want to test out the threadability, if you want to test out how easy it is to do the 2 buttons, you can see for yourself, it really, really is that easy, and it could really change your life. We had that customer who came to Printman Promotion last year, and if anyone's watched our trailer for Printman Promotion, you can see that Richard, one of our customer service people, changed their customer's life because they saw this press and changed their business, and they managed to get so much more capacity and so much more revenue into their business now. So now, if anyone's got more questions about Dual Fusion, we can always come back. But for now, I'm going to take you to the auto open heat press, which is our mid-range heat press. So we're going to cover absolutely everything today. So I'm going to come over here to the auto open heat press. And now I just want to kind of recap something that we talked about, which is time, temperature, and pressure. So if anyone is watching now and they're thinking about getting a new heat press.
Sorry, Andy, can I just get you to move that light above your head? Not that one, that one. This one. There you go. People can't see you very easily.
There you go.
That's better.
So if you're thinking about getting your first heat press or your next heat press, there's something that you should really bear in mind. So not just thinking about buying it from Hotronics. Hotronics have got the world-leading heat presses, but if you really want to do your due diligence and you want to look around and see what you should be looking for, there's 3 things that you really need to look out for. It's how you can control time, temperature, and pressure, which is where Hotronics excels, but this is the things you need to be able to guarantee. You need to be able to guarantee that this is correct to the degree. And I'm not just talking about in the middle, I'm talking about the whole platen. So the way that, for instance, that we would guarantee that heat is we put so many different heating rods in this, there's no chance for the press to go cold in between. There's no cold spots. So it means that no matter where you're putting a transfer or vinyl on here, you're always getting the same heat throughout. So it's really important to be able to control temperature and to the degree. You don't want to be in a position where you're adding 10 degrees every single time you're doing fusing because you know your heat press is a bit unreliable and you want to be sure, because you could end up scorching the garment or doing something that is not in the best interest of your garment decorating. So for the sake of buying the best heat press, and these are not expensive, you're looking between £1,300 and £1,900 for an auto open heat press, for instance, which is the mid-range one. And this will last you 10, 15 years. So it's a really sound investment. So you can control temperature is important. You want to be able to control time, and you want to be able to control pressure as well. And you want to be able to control them from a workstation here. So what Hotronics did was they're the first people to put digital readouts of temperature, time, and pressure into machine, because we know we want to make your life easier. You don't want to have to spending a whole time checking this, checking that. You want to be just concentrate on fusing and selling your products. But one of the other things you want to get when it comes to, so timing, let's be honest, time is quite easy to measure. Every heat press should have a timer readout, and there's no difference between seconds. I don't imagine there's a slow counting heat press, so I'd hope not anyway. But the other thing is pressure. So pressure, when you're looking for a heat press, you want to be able to control that pressure. So I talked earlier about being able to control the pressure with the dual air fusion. It was easy. Push 2 buttons, and there's an air compressor on the side that controls that for you. But if you're not quite ready to buy a dual air fusion or one of the air fusion presses, you still want to be able to control pressure, and you want to be able to understand it. And the way to get perfect pressure with a heat press is by having something called over-centered pressure. This is something that's really important to look out for with a heat press. So I'm going to pull this down now, and you can see here, so this is the pressure adjuster, and this is directly in the middle of the top platen. So this is what separates a high-quality heat press from a cheap heat press. If it's a cheap heat press, this is going to be at the back here, and it's going to adjust it from the back. But that's not really good for your pressure because it's not going to be even. So it means even if you had perfect temperature at the top, you're not going to have even pressure. And what will happen if your pressure is adjusted from the back of the platen, it will come down at the back first, and it'll press here, and then it'll come down and press the first slightly after this. But what can happen is it means it can push your t-shirt and your transfer forwards because it's kind of coming down at the back and pushing. That's not good for application. It's not going to be accurate. It's not going to be great for detail. By having pressure over the middle, it means when it comes down, it comes through the middle and it comes through evenly of the whole platen here. So I'm going to pull this down now, and you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's perfectly sealed all the way around here. We've got lots of close-up videos of this on our YouTube channel as well. So if you want to see a real close-up of this, we've done a couple of videos recently with the auto open. But basically, when this comes down, it's perfectly sealed all the way around, and it comes through the middle. So no matter where your transfer is on here, whether it's giant or whether it's tiny, it's still going to get the same pressure all the way through. So much like we do with the temperature control, where we make sure there's no cold spots, we're not putting one element in the middle and spreading it all the way throughout. The pressure is really important to control through the middle, because that way you can unlock that transfer perfectly.
Andy, we have had a question come in,
Okay.
and they have asked about if we offer a print-on-demand service.
Well, we do. We don't do any of the fusing for you, but we want to empower you to make your own print-on-demand service, because that's how you're going to make more money that way. And the way we do that is we supply you with these fantastic heat presses, which mean you can get it right every single time. But we also supply you with heat transfers. So what that means is if you can give us your artwork, you go to custom.targettransfers.com, you can upload your artwork, and this can be any design, unlimited colors, unlimited detail. There's no limits in terms of what a heat transfer can be turned into. But what we've done is we've worked really hard to have the industry's quickest turnaround in the UK. So that means that with, for instance, our Octacolor Max, which I'm fusing today, if you order by midnight, it will ship the following working day. So it's an express turnaround. So it means that actually, rather than having to have lots of machines to do printing yourself or having lots of stock of transfers, you only need to order what you sell. So it means if someone places an order, say it's 12:15 or something at the moment, you get an order through, you gather all your orders together, say 11:59 tonight, you place your order. You could do a gang sheet of heat transfers or do them individually, whatever you want. And then on Monday, we'll print them and send them that day. So come Tuesday, you can fuse that garment and send it out to your customer to arrive with them on Wednesday. That's print on demand, and that's really quick. But that way, you're also not just getting a really quick turnaround. Now you can get the best finish, because heat transfers get that brighter, more vibrant, and really smooth and premium finish that you can't get with any other printing method. So now I'm going to give you a little tutorial on the auto open. So again, I'll put a quick slip on here as well, because I want that efficiency. I've also put the Hotronix caddy stand on today as well. So again, it means I can move it around the room, but I'm also creating that threadable area. So again, you can just glide it on. I'm just going to grab some release paper. This is always good, always best practice to use the heat transfers. Let's pop it on here. We're going to give it a pull down. When I pull this down as well, it's telling me exactly what pressure it is as well. So this is something that, again, that Hotronix is brought to market, is that where we put the pressure readout on the auto open and the fusion presses. So it means that if you're still a bit unsure, you can just do a quick test with the t-shirt, then you know you've got perfect pressure. Pressure, by the way, if anyone is unsure, is between 4 and 6. So medium pressure, which covers heat transfer vinyl and heat transfers pretty much universally, is between a 4 and a 6 on a Hotronix press. You get it between a 4 and a 6, you're going to get perfect pressure every single time. So just realized I set the dual timer wrong, so apologies for that. There we go. So I've got 2 timers on here. One for the first press, one for the second press. So it means that you, in theory, if I hadn't been demonstrating it too many times, you just do 3 to 5 seconds pre-press again, and then it does the main press. So it's always there to kind of tell you what you've done right or wrong, as the case may be. And because it's an auto open press, it automatically opens exactly when it's finished for you. And then again, just peel the transfer off, just like that, you've done another shirt. So let me give you a close up of that one. Again, really, really nice and easy. And all it does is, and it wasn't very hard to pull that press down, so I'm just going to show you that again actually as well. So that's on medium pressure. And like I said, mistakes people make, they think this is going to be really hard work. They're going to put a lot of effort into pulling this press down. But it's really not the case. So if it's a high quality heat press, it should be easy for you to do. So this is something, if you're going to print around promotion and you're thinking about getting a heat press, go around and ask them if you can pull all their press down at medium pressure and see how hard the work is. This is how easy it should be. You should be able to do it with 2 fingers and just go just like that. That's how easy it should be to do. It should not be hard work, because if it was too much hard work, you wouldn't be able to do volumes of printing with a clamshell heat press like this. It should be really easy, because the machinery, the way we've built it with the engineering, where it's US manufactured, it's built to be hardware and it's built to do the hard work for you. I think we've got another question.
We have indeed. We've had one come in on YouTube, and somebody is asking, how long would a heat press t-shirt last? I'm assuming they mean the actual design on the t-shirt, not the heat press itself.
This transfer, any of our heat transfers. So this is an Ultra Color Max direct to film. We have something called Ultra Color, which is a digital screen hybrid technology. And we also have a traditional screen printed heat transfer. All of our heat transfers are built to last the lifetime of the garment. These are industrially wash tested in the same places that the likes of Nike and Adidas do all of their wash testing before they bring new garments out. We send our heat transfers there on a t-shirt, fused, to be tested so that we know that we can give you peace of mind that these will last and last and last, and they will not fade. They will be as good as the first day they were fused. And if you're going to be coming to Print Promotion, you can see for yourself. I've got some examples of products that have been wash tested, so you can see just how great that color looks.
We have had another question come in, Andy.
Yep.
Perhaps a slight bit of confusion here. Someone has asked, can I see your transfer designs?
Do you want a close-up, do you mean?
I think they might wonder if we produce stock designs.
Okay, right, yes.
He said thinking of ordering, but just making sure.
Yes, if you want some inspiration, on our website, customer.targettransfers.com, we have templates for things like levers and neck labels, but we do also have lots of, I think we've got over 1,000 stock designs on there as well. So if you want to do sports badges or something seasonal, we've got lots of stuff to get you started. There's something for every occasion. So if your customer says to you, I want a design for this occasion, you can just go onto our website, play around with some of the designs that are on there. So to get to them, all you would need to do is either go to the nav bar and click stock designs, or click one of the products. And when you go to select ultra colored design or full color design, there'll be loads of examples in the stock section on the left-hand side there for you.
Or you can upload your own.
Or upload your own, yeah.
Whatever suits.
We've got solutions for all occasions there.
We have another question about the stand that the Auto Open is on.
Okay.
Does this come with the heat press, or is this an addition?
This is an addition. So normally the heat press will sit on a table. So that's about the height of the heat press, starts about there normally. We find, because we want to have that threadability with everything we do, because it saves so much time and it saves so much money that way, that we'd always recommend putting a heat press on if you're doing t-shirts, put it on a caddy stand or a counter caddy, just to get that extra efficiency. So I think if you can see, just pointing out, this is a caddy stand. So if you haven't got an area that's quite big enough to have the wheels on this one, you do have a desktop version, which I'll just show. Again, it's so easy to thread on here. All you need to do is just go like that. You're done. Really, really nice and easy. So there is an accessory for every occasion.
We have one comment saying Target Transfers is very good. Thank you very much, Heat Transfer Station. And Deanne has responded and said, so I have designs, but wanted to see if you had any there to see the quality.
Okay, so we've got lots of pictures on our website. I'll give you another close-up of this one now so you can see just how much detail we've managed to get from that photo, in case that helps you at all. But these are full color, so you can do photographic, you can do gradients, you can do tones. So no matter what the design is, you can do it. But the great thing is that we have such a low minimum order quantity. So if Ultra Color Max, it's 1, Ultra Color and screen print is only 10. So it means that we do sell sample packs, so you could buy one, fuse it for yourself. But I'd actually encourage you to upload a few different artworks and get it back to you in your own image, because then you'll really be able to see what it looks like for yourself. Then I'd fuse it. I'd wait 24 to 48 hours before I wash it, and then wash it for yourself. See for yourself what it looks after a couple of washes. But I can guarantee you it looks great. This hoodie I'm wearing at the moment, we got done for the show last year. That's still super vibrant, and this has probably had, at this point, probably 30 to 40 washes at this point. We use it for lives every week, so it's had a hard life of washing already, and it's not even faded in the slightest bit.
We have got another question on the TikTok live. Someone's asking just how much is the price? So I don't know whether they're talking about the heat press or the heat transfers, but they have asked about the pricing.
So that's fine. So heat transfers start at £25 minimum order. And the more you order, the cheaper it gets. So once you get into ordering, say 100 units, 1,000 units, the price comes down rapidly. So it's very easy to make it very profitable. Heat presses, so they're anywhere between £720 and £7,000, depending on the functionality you want. So the auto open here is a mid-range, so you're looking at starting price of about £1,300, and they go up to, so this one's about £1,800. So there's options for every budget that way. And we do finance options, so it means that if if say, for instance, you want to spread the payments over, say, 12, 24, 36 months, you do have that option to spread that cost and own it at the end as well. Just speak to one of the team if that's something you'd be interested in.
And we've had a follow-up question. Which material for the transfer picture you just showed? So obviously that's the full colour option.
So this is ultra colour. So when you go onto our website, you'll see there's ultra colour matte, which is great for really short runs of products. And there's ultra colour, which is great for the scalable product. But the end result looks exactly the same. Just one's great for doing short runs, one's great for doing scalable long runs. But they've got that full colour promise of vibrant gradients, anything you want. They're unlimited. The detail is fantastic as well. You can go really, really tiny with the detail without compromising any of the design.
And follow-up question from the longevity of the transfer.
Yep.
The same person has asked, what about samples?
So we don't have samples of pre-washed stuff, obviously, but if you want to buy a sample pack, they're just on our website, targettransfers.com. But again, because the minimum order amount is so small, I would encourage you to do your own artwork, because I think you'll find it will give you so much more context and make, and kind of that way you can also push the limits as much as possible. So make that detail really fine, put loads of colors into it, and really challenge us to make sure your design looks good that way, because we know that we would be a match for it. Okay, so next up, I'm going to take you just around the corner. So you're getting a full tour of the Heat Printing Innovation Centre here today. So this is in Braintree in Essex. So we do lots of events in here. So if you're ever interested in coming to Braintree for events, it's targettransfers.com/events, and you can come and see it for yourself in person. But we do lots of great education events here. If anyone that's new to us, we're live on TikTok today for the first time. We do this every single week. So 12 p.m, lunchtime on Friday, we come and try and answer as many of your questions as possible so that you can be a top of the level heat printer. But next, I'm going to show you what an entry level heat press looks like. So if you're just starting out, your first heat press, one of the most common heat presses people go for is the Hotronix Max Press. This is also a really great events printer as well. So if you're going to festivals and you want to do live printing on the event, this is a real workhorse machine for it. So again, you've got the lifetime warranty on the heating element, and you've got that 2-finger pull down. So it's really, really nice and easy. So just you can see how easy it is for me to move it, push it into place, and it just counts down. This one only has a single timer rather than a dual timer, and it won't automatically open, but it will give a beep when it's finished. So if you're standing here, you get your next one ready. It beeps, put it back up, pull your t-shirt off, and that's it. Really, really nice and easy. It won't give you a pressure readout, but that's why the 2-finger test is important, because I know a lot of you probably watching haven't quite got to the point where you're ready to upgrade to a Hotronix press. If you've got a good quality heat press, you should be able to put it down with 2 fingers, and that's how you find medium pressure. So if you go to use a heat press and someone else has been using it and you're like, oh, how do I find medium again? Put a t-shirt under there. Always important to do it with some actual clothing. So I always say have a test t-shirt to hand. Let's thread this on here, but I haven't got a quick slip, so you can see how it takes a little bit longer to do. Because the pressure is so accurate on Hotronix press, just the tiniest t-shirt or transfer will make all the difference to the pressure readout. So that's why you should always check your pressure with an actual t-shirt on there. So we'll put it down. So I've just put a t-shirt on now. I can feel that's a little bit more pressure already. So I'm just going to give it a quarter turn here. Put it down again. Perfect. So you can feel it. It's just a normal pull down. It shouldn't be hard work for you. Like I said, this has been engineered to be really hard wearing and do all the hard work for you. That's why that over the center pressure is really important, because it's going to come down evenly for you and do all the hard work. So again, put the transfer on, pop some release paper on there. We're going to fuse this for 12 seconds at 145 degrees. So anyone that's new to heat printing that's watching should always follow the recipe. This is really important because not everything fuses at the same temperature. We are free transfers, fuse at 3 different temperatures. We always give you the instructions every single time you order. So when you place your order, we'll highlight on the order which design should be fused at which temperature to make it easy for you. Again, this is a nice, easy, hot peel, just like that. I'll give you a close-up of this British flag. So you can see just how vibrant those colours are. Really great, and they stand out on that blue there, just like that. That's really how easy it is to heat print t-shirts. So once you got into rhythm doing that, you could get through 100, 200 an hour. So I mean, I know we talked earlier about at what point should you be buying a dual layer fusion. That said 200, 300 a day. But in reality, that dual layer fusion could get through so much work. You could be looking at 200 an hour because it's so efficient because you're fusing those two t-shirts exactly the same time. But that's true of all of these Optronics presses. They're all built to make your life easier. And that's what's really important to look for in a heat press. Does it make your life easier?
We've had a question about this particular heat press, Andy.
Okay.
Someone's asked that they assume that this one doesn't auto-open, seeing as you lifted the handle up.
That's correct, yeah. So the way to tell the difference between Optronics presses is want to make sure there's a press for every budget level. So as you go up the different presses and different price points, you'll get more functionality as you go. So this has the temperature and the timer, single timer and temperature. They're all perfect to temperature to the degree. They've all got the same top pattern, but then you get the extra functionality like a pressure readout or an auto-open feature. That's what you pay extra for the next press up.
And someone else has asked, you mentioned this particular press didn't have the slip protector on it. Can you talk a bit more about the quick slips for people?
So the quick slip, let me go and grab the quick slip. I'll be back in 1 second.
If anybody who's just joining us, we're talking all things Optronics heat presses today. So give us your questions. Andy's here to answer everything for you.
Yep. So the number one accessory for heat printers is a quick slip. If you haven't got one of these in a heat press, you need to get one today. They're in stock, and it could be with you on Monday. This is the absolute game changer for heat presses. So this is a heat press as standard. So you can see, let me grab my t-shirt again. So when I want to put the press on, because I've got slightly harder edges on there, I kind of have to, I would say, kind of almost like climb or walk it along there. So it's hard work. It's not hard work, but it's harder work than it will be in a sec. Get a quick slip, which are only £60. It'll probably pay itself off in the first week because it'll be so much more efficient. And you just pop it on there, put it on each corner, smooth it down, and you've upgraded the heat press just like that. I've got loads of different sizes of these. So then when you put your t-shirt on, you just glide it on. It makes your life so much easier, and it makes you so much more efficient and so much quicker at what you do. You get through your work in probably half the time just by getting a little accessory for your heat press. This is a must-have for every single serious heat printer. You have to get a quick slip on there. And like I say, they're only £60, but there are bundles for all the different heat presses, all the different levels where you can get these included in it. You can get transfer credit included into it. So if you go to targettransfers.com and click on heat presses, there'll be a drop down under there to talk about bundles. So if you're thinking about starting out or upgrading or adding capacity to your business, there's always a bundle option as well.
And one final question before we move on from Ultracolor Max, the different sizings of the heat presses behind you.
Okay.
Someone's asking which size you would recommend and how many there are.
So with heat presses, our auto open and max press, they come in 3 different sizes. So you've got start out at 28 by 38. Then you're either going to get a 38 by 38 or 40 by 40, depending which press it is. And then the biggest press you can get is 40 by 50, which is this press, and it's all the fusion presses. And the thing to think about when you're buying heat press, because you might not need the biggest one, is you need to think about what is the biggest design that I'm going to be fusing in the next 12 months. And then make sure you have a press that can handle that design. So if you're only doing, say, kid stuff, you don't need a tiny press. You don't need to buy a giant press for that. But if you're going to be doing, say, sports numbers or large front chest prints, then you might need the 40 by 50. But go by your designs. That's the most important thing. Think about what will just future-proof yourself, say, for 12 months, because if your business picks up, you can always add more presses in. The main thing to remember is you can always change the bottom, but you can never change the top. So you can always put smaller press patterns on here. All of these have exactly the same quick release that you saw with the dual air fusion, it's on the right hand side, so that all of them have exactly the same. You just release that, pull the press up, and that's it, really nice and easy. So you can interchange, put smaller patterns on here to isolate the different areas, really, really nice and easy. So that's basically all there is to a quick slip. Really nice and easy, but you get loads of functionality with it. So next, let's see any more questions of that, but I can always come back. I'm going to show you what it looks like to use a professional hat heat press, which is another press you should be having. So if you come around. So this is the 360 IQ Hotronix hat press. And this press will fuse any hat that you can imagine, any hat you could ever need. So I've got some examples here that I wanted to show you. So this is a embossed metallic finish hat. So this is something you can only do with a 360 IQ. We've got rubber patches, really great definition on those. And let's see if you can see that. High build vinyl, the 1000 micron, the chunkiest vinyl, 10 times thicker vinyl than your average vinyl. But the reason you might need one of these presses is that you say you're already doing hats at the moment. I don't know if anyone's watching along. If you leave a comment if you are doing hats at all. But the thing that sometimes people find is that they can't do the thicker elements here because they just can't get the heat to go through. The hat needs to be on there for so long on a normal hat press. It tends to start scorching the hat. You start to crimp it up a bit because you've had to put so much time, sort of heat and pressure through it, that you just can't quite get the right finish, and it puts people off sometimes. But the great news is we've changed things to make it easy for you, and there is a solution now. And the solution is a 360 IQ hat press. And the way this works is that it has a lower heated pattern here. So with hats, because they're often made out of polyester or acrylic, it means that they are they don't really like heat. Once you get to a certain temperature, they don't really like heat at all. Bear in mind, I'm just going to grab my plug for a sec. So you sometimes get scorching because of the polyester and acrylic in hats. We found a solution for you. By heating from the bottom, all of the magic when it comes to heat printing is done inside. That's why there's no marks on any of these hats. I'll get you close up so you can see there's not a mark on this. And this should, by all rights, should have a mark around here. It shouldn't look great. So it's really, really easy to do hats now. And they take so little time. So versus, say, embroidery, which might take 15 minutes, now I could put an embroidered patch on here in 45 seconds. So I'm going to show you how to do some hat printing. So I'm going to grab a plain white hat. So I've got a Beachfield hat here. The first thing to do is take the cardboard out. This, for anyone that's watching, is a B660. I'm going to use the recipes on here to set my press to rubber badge. Then I'm just going to pop it on here. Just make sure you pull the air out there because you want to get all the heat going into the inside of the hat. Then you've got this lever here. Pulls it nice and tight so the hat's secure on here. Because it's got a silicone bottom now, it means you don't have to replace the patterns for different hat types. It molds to the shape of the hat, which makes life really easy. So I'm just going to show you just how thick and chunky this rubber patch is. And this should be really difficult to fuse, but it's not. So you place it on here, so you get a nice middle placement. Then you're going to get one of your heat printing mats. So when you buy a 360 IQ, you get 3 different foam pads. And depending on how thick the badge is, that's how you should pick the right mat for it. This is thick, but it's not the thickest thick this press can do. So imagine that's the foam pad you might need for a really dimensional badge, which you can do no problem as well. So once you've placed your badge on here, you're going to pop your foam pad on. And because this is a Hotronix machine, you're going to get perfect temperature throughout the bottom, perfect temperature throughout the top, and perfect pressure through the middle as well. So let's give this a quick press. It's going to take 45 seconds under here, and we now have lots of customers that do hats because hats are so big in the UK. We've got many customers who've got 3 or 4 of these just lined up, and they're just printing hats all day because the profit margins in these is so fantastic. So that rubber patch probably cost £1.80. To put some high build vinyl on, it probably cost 30p, and a hat costs £3-4 at most. And you can easily sell that hat at retail for £25-35. So the profit margins on these are massive, and we're finding a lot of customers are actually paying off this press from one job. So say you got a football team wanted hats done for you, they wanted 150 across the age groups, you paid off the press with one job. So now, when this is done, I'm gonna let it cool before I take it off. Just gonna release that there, nice and gently. Let me show you, just like that. Rubber patch is done. Really, really nice and easy. That's all it took, was just a little bit of time under there. So put it on there, pulled the inside out, fused it under there for 45 seconds. Actually, let me give you a side profile so you can see how thick and chunky that is. And just like that, you've done a hat press. Normally that could take you, well, you couldn't be able to rubber patch on anything before. Now you can do it on here in 45 seconds. That's how easy it is to do. So if anyone's sort of on the fence about hat printing, again, either come and see us, come to the show, or just get started. Because we've done loads of videos on this, on our channel, on the Styles channel. If you join the Heat Press with Profit group, you can see that this is a Facebook group just filled with success stories of how easy it is to do heat printing with hats. So again, you could add this to your arsenal of heat presses and just get so much more work done.
We have had a comment on YouTube from Marco, who says they're a new starter. They have got the Styles Clam Basic at the moment. Hopefully this is an okay press to get started with, they've said. Can you advise me if it's a good one for a conservative start? Obviously it's a cheaper option. Also a few tips and tricks in order to do a good and easy job. Hopefully if the business goes well, I will upgrade to a Hotronix press, definitely.
Yeah, Styles Clam Basic is a great one to get started with. It's very reliable. It's got the temperature readout. It's got the time readout. The difference between, say, a Clam Basic and the Hotronix Max Press is you just don't get those interchangeable platens, which for me, I really like having the interchangeable platens because then we do lots of hoodies and we do lots of bags here, and having that ability to isolate the areas is really important. But if you're just starting out, you've got a smaller budget and you're just doing, say, t-shirts, and you want to kind of get your foot in the door and get started, you want to test whether this is a viable business for you, absolutely, the Clam Basic is a fantastic press to get started with. And again, they're in stock on site in Braintree and you can ship next day. So definitely a good place to start, Marco.
Good. And for the tips and tricks side of things, I definitely recommend that you check out our YouTube channel because we've got a lot of how to save time, how to save money, efficiency hacks on there. So definitely check that out if you're looking to make some gains there. That's it on the YouTube side for now.
Okay, so there's no more questions. That kind of wraps up our Ask Us Anything About Heat Presses today. If you have more questions, send us a message on any of the social channels, or come and meet us at Premier Promotion next weekend. That's the Sunday through the Tuesday. And you'll be able to put all of those heat presses through their paces, and you'll be able to see for yourself just how easy they are to do and how they might be able to change your business. Or even if you've already got a Hotronix press and you want to be more efficient, you want some productivity hacks, come and find one of the team and just say, like, I'm doing this, but I think I can do it better. What would you advise? I can guarantee you will find something to make your business that little bit more efficient. Okay, so thank you very much everyone that joined us today, and we'll be back again soon with another Friday Lunchtime Live.